What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I'm here to tell you that the Oklahoma City Thunder have arrived and they're going to be here for the foreseeable future. They look like absolute title contenders halfway through the season, about 40 games in, and they've been lights out. And I truly do think that this team has everything that they do need in order to win. Only thing that they lack right now is experience because they are young, but they got a lot. They have a lot of star power. They have a lot of firepower. And they're very well coached. It's a very good team. They could easily win the West, and I would not be surprised at it. Let's break down why this team is so damn good. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Please like the video. But OKC is full of killers. And we're going to start with their main killer, and that's Gilgeous-Alexander. And honestly, the dude should be somewhere on the top of the MVP voting because he's at least top 3. Right? He's got to be somewhere in the top 3. What he's doing is remarkable. How many times have we seen a guard shoot over 55% from the field? That's insane. Those are big man percentages. Gives you 31, 6, and 6 with great defense and solid efficiency. 35% from 3 or something like that, but gets to the line a ton. And, like I said, that 55+% from the field, dude's a walking bucket, and they have that guy. They have that guy. They have the MVP level guy that every championship team needs, and he's been basically unstoppable for the last couple of years. It doesn't matter if you put size on him. It doesn't matter if you put aggressiveness or speed or doubles. He picks you apart. He dominates you. That is Gilgeous-Alexander in a nutshell. But, it's great to have that guy, right? Everybody wants to have that guy. But what about the surrounding pieces? What about the co-stars? Because that's what really elevates a championship level team is the other guys. And they honestly kind of have a big 3. Like a underrated, kind of, you don't really hear it talked about too much because they're so young. But Chet Holmgren as the number 2 and sometimes number 3, sometimes number 1 on this team has been basically as advertised. Everything that they could have hoped for, 18 points a game, 7 rebounds, almost 3 blocks a game on 56% from the field, 40 from 3. Like, what else can you ask for from your secondary or third option in most nights? That he's that efficient, he covers the paint that well, he has a handle too to where he can get into the paint, get you some assists. He makes deflections. He's everywhere. He's that big guy to where the guys up front that are, covering the perimeter know if I get beat, I got help back there and I'm good. And that's why they're, I think, the number 2 team in points allowed in the paint per game. A lot has to do with Chet. And he's very, very valuable. I think there's a very good argument for him to be Rookie of the Year right now. It's between him and Wemby. And I think Jaime Jaquez is pretty good in there too. But Chet has been a killer. And he's been that number 2 guy. And then some nights he's number 3, and the other guy on here is J-Dub, Jalen Williams. What else can you ask for? He's shooting 70% in January. I just found that out. That is absurd. 18, 4, and 4 with great defense, 54% from the field, and 45 from 3. That is efficient as can be. If you thought Shea was amazing at 55 plus from the field, J-Dub's not far behind at 54. Most star players shoot like 45 to 48. Unless you're like a Jokic or, an Embiid, one of those bigger guys. Like I said, big man percentages. They got guards shooting at big man percentages. That is insane. And I think that they really just have a very complementary big 3. You have your MVP level guy in Shea, right? But then you have a co-star in Chet who does a lot of the other things. And then you have J-Dub who fills in between. And, he does some scoring. He does some creating. He does a lot of defense. He does some rebounding. He kind of just, they play so well off of each other. And the continuity there is really fun to see for young teams. Because a lot of times you see them kind of like, no, it's my turn, my ball, I want the ball. They're so bought into how they want to play. And it's great. So they have a complementary big 3, which every championship team nowadays seems to really need. So I don't think that they need to really go out and make a big trade or anything like that. I think that they have enough to make this happen. But if you got a war chest of draft picks. So honestly, you could go out there and you could try and go for a Lauri Markkanen if he became available, or a Pascal Siakam even. There's a lot that they could do. But I'm going to stay in the lane that, like, say they don't do anything. Look at what they're already ranked as. And then it's going to be a list. And it's impressive. Number 3 in points per game at like 122 or something like that. Amazing offense. Number 9 in assists. So they share the rock. They spread the love. Number 1 in effective field goal percentage, which it doesn't surprise me when you see that J-Dub and Shea are both shooting like 55% from the field. And Chet's doing the same thing. It makes a lot of sense when the bulk of your shots are going to those guys and they're hitting at such an insane clip. And it's clear that this is like can continue. This is 40 games in. It's not like a 5-game sample size. So number 1 in effective field goal percentage, number 1 in 3-point percentage at nearly 40% as a team. I went back and looked at it. I think they had, of like the main 15 guys on the roster, they had like 10 guys over 40% from 3. That's insane. That is incredible. There's no other way. It almost seems unfathomable. And of course, you could probably figure they're number 1 in shooting overall. So that's counting 2s, 3s, whatever. Number 1 in blocks per game. So they, like I said, a lot of this has to do with Chet and them funneling into him and the paint defense being so good. Number 5 in steals per game. So they're deflecting the ball, they're blocking the ball, they're getting out in transition. Their transition defense, I think, is like top 5. And their transition offense is like top 5. So they outrun you, they turn you over, they just onslaught you. And what is it? They're number 5 in turnovers per game as a team. So they turn the ball over at such a low clip while turning you over on the other end, which hence leads to a lot of transition buckets. And they don't have to play a lot of transition defense because they don't turn the ball over. And like I said earlier, number 2 in points per game allowed in the paint. So for not being a huge team, they sure seem to lock down that paint better than everybody except for like one team. So I think that has to do with a lot of Mark Daigneault's coaching and the length. Because they do have, while not being like a bunch of 6'10 guys, Shea is long. J-Dub is long. Chet is long. Like those guys all have a ton of length to cover a ton of the court. Even guys like Giddey. Like the smallest guy in the lineup sometimes is like 6'6". So that's crazy. And the funny thing is, the only thing that they really lack, like I said, is experience. And that's gained. You can't go trade, or I guess you could trade for experience, technically. But for your main guys, like that's just something that they're going to pick up along the way. And they're already dominating. So what do all championship teams have in common, right? What do they all have? They have to have an MVP level guy. Check. You have that in Shea. Do they have co-stars? Check. You have that in Chet and J-Dub, like I mentioned. Do you have shooting? They damn sure got some shooting because they're like the best shooting team in the league. Do you play aggressive defense? Do you turn people over? Do you get out in transition? Check. They do all of that. There's not really a hole in their game as a team or in their stars. Like everybody just works so well, and it's so beautiful to see because they just, you had one or two rough years, if that. You really rebuilt your team. And now you look locked, loaded, and ready to make a huge run. And I do think that they are the most complete team in the West. That is counting every single team in the West. I think they're the most complete. They have everything that you need to where the Nuggets don't have a ton of depth, or proven depth, I guess you could say. And then I think after that, the Clippers are, can they stay healthy? That is a big thing. And that's something that, the Thunder have stayed healthy to this point. So I think if they stay healthy, that they're going to be in that mix. Then you have teams like the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, where I don't think that they have everything that you need. I think that there's still like some holes to fill, which could be fixed by trades and stuff like that. But OKC is in one of those situations where like we could just let it rock, and they'll probably be in the Western Conference Finals, or we can make a trade and almost give us or guarantee themselves a chance at the finals, which. It's a great spot to be in if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. But some of these numbers are just flat out appalling because they're just destroying teams. They just won by like 60. And I know it was the Blazers, but like, how hard it is to beat an NBA team by like 60? That's incredible. So yeah, man, Oklahoma City Thunder, they're here now and for the foreseeable future. They're going to be a problem for a long time. And it's Sam Presti, Mark Daigneault, amazing jobs. The players have developed. It's been like a perfect culmination. Now you just got to go to the playoffs and win. And I can't wait to see it happen. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Please like the video. But what do you think of the OKC Thunder thus far? Do you think that they are title contenders? That is the main thing. Do you think that they can be? I do. But thanks for watching. I'm done. Peace.